Jump code loaded. Still a bad in that roll. Flex fast, stock stats, got clear study. Via pass in a triple dual play. Direction, just the case of he brave. But we pull meat, bleep in a gravity grave. I'll pause to breathe, let's see, let's features, reach on tape, no rate. House from a dealer called brass. That shit's in, but the sand's stuck fast. On you creep, then I bring you back fast. Too cheap flow in the 80 I pass. Crew they range, I don't want to now last. Lang hold down to my sith with fast. Core toe break to the marks the grong. Flash comp pop, put the plasma song. Go cat food, go stars, and farm. In his raw T-try song get done in the track cross line. Fuck a pampers and it kills my spits. Lit the sun, just the right kadar. Boots off, face would convert. Seal at the max collapse.
Okay, hello, welcome back. Oh, we are returning to the build stream for the battlecruiser. Made a tremendous amount of progress yesterday, which I guess is to be expected when you spend as much time working on it as I did. And then I ended up spending a couple hours, I think, after the stream, like late, like after the stream ended. I had an evening stream or Phasmo, and then after that, I think I fired this up, which I shouldn't have done, and and stayed up a few hours later than I really should have, continuing to work on it. So it's really progressed a long way over the course of everything yesterday. So I'm excited. I'm excited about that. Now, before I get into that, and I do really, for real this time, fully intend to not spend a long time doing this. Actually, first, let's do a sound check. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, cool. I think that's good. All right. So what I would like to do quickly, or I don't know what the right term is. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but I do want to take a look at it. The Cuppa Tea that I finished at the very beginning of the stream yesterday, I was watching, rewatching or reviewing the footage today, and I caught something that I think I missed first time, and that is this right here. I even made a joke. I was like, "Oh, it's an air-cooled conveyor." And as much as I like that idea, problem is I believe that means that this is not airtight anymore. So that can be a problem. As a matter of fact, let's see. So I'm gonna flip that around, and I realized I never actually tested the airtightness of the ship, which is a mistake. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna flip those blocks around because they definitely are a problem, and then I'll pressurize the ship and see what happens. All right, and then here. And I also realized there's some overlap of some of my hotkeys in Space Engineers with my OBS hotkeys, namely the ones for switching the face cam.
Fuel critical.
I got twisted up at one point yesterday. My muscle memory failed, and I was hitting hotkeys trying to remember how to grab the color from a block in the vanilla system, and I ended up switching my face cam to my cat, which is what I use in the evening streams when I'm not doing commentary, and it stayed there for like a freaking hour. So at least an hour, it possibly more, before one of the viewers happened to make a joke about it. That's when I discovered what had happened. All right, so we're gonna do that. We will grab the color on that guy, and then here 3, and here, boom. All right, so what is, all right, that will be airtight on that side. Oh yeah, I don't think it matters. It's not going to be airtight there. Okay, so I don't think this is airtight. Fuck. All right, well, I'm still gonna, the change I want to make, I still need to make. I'm gonna make it, and then return to my regularly scheduled program. All right, so there we go. There, we should have some air. So tanks, awesome. Oh, fantastic. Okay, so all right, we'll close you, and something I was thinking about is there are there's another ladder that has a platform above it. It came with the oh, I don't have it out. Oh, there it is. It came with this set scaffold. There's a scaffold ladder. Somewhere, yeah, there. So like that could work. It's less obtrusive in the hallway. I think it might facilitate getting up and down here a little more easily. But I will admit it does not look as good as these. So I'm not going to change that. I'm just going to keep that in mind for future reference. And let's see, what am I doing? Oh, yeah, let's close the doors. And let's see, we got our yep. Okay, that's exactly what I expected to happen. First things first, let's make sure the tanks are not on stockpile. They're not. Show me the leak. Oh. Oh, those are enough. Look at me. All right. All right. Well, you know what? I figured I didn't know it was going to make this change anyway, so I'll just make it now. If I leave them that way, then it doesn't violate. It keeps that aesthetic that I had wanted, and actually, I think it's nice. All right, let's go up here. I'm pretty sure this is going exactly where. Yep, right out there. So the problem is, right after you go up here, this next conveyor, which leads into the bottom reactor. Yeah. Oh, hey, you. So it leads. It's not this reactor, I believe. It is. Let's see. I don't need that. Yeah, it's this guy right here. So this. That is a T intersection. Okay. I can solve this with a simple junction. Okay. I was going to stop but then I realized this is these are easy fixes. All right, so we'll do that. That fixes the other side now. And we'll grab the color and boom. So now the air leak is from the door, as it should be. So if we shut the door, I see no more. Oh, fuck me. Where you go? What?
Critical.
Oh, damn. All right. All right, Mr. Man. So you are leaking out. Oh, you're coming up here and you're leaking out of the side of this one? Oh, that's interesting. No, you're going out the door. Okay, well, close the damn door. All right, so I think you are going out. You're going out the bottom of the gun. The bottom of the gun is not airtight. Oh, that sucks. All right. There we go. I believe the other side is already using a junction because it needed to join to the block above it as well. So I only need to change this side, so we'll do that. Oop. Then you. Oh. Oh yeah, we can just delete the entity. Wow. All right, you. Goodbye. All right, so here. And this is the copy I made so that I could just do this. This will preserve the group relationships and all the configuration stuff that I've done, so I don't have to go and redo it. There we go. Most of the time that works. It does not always work, but okay, I believe this. Yeah, buddy. All right, you. Whoops. All right, you and you. Right on. So we come in here, we land, and boom. O2 high, warm. Ha 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 ha. That is a thing of absolute beauty. I love this. I love this entryway here. I don't really like this here. I don't think there's any way to avoid that hole though, and have a ladder there. Oh. Well, unless I delete the block and just put a plain old ladder there. Oh yeah, that won't eliminate the hole. That'll make a bigger hole. Especially because I have a light up. Good grief, I have a light up there. So, yeah, I could push the light back. But this is going beyond what I wanted to do. I just wanted to get it airtight. I think minor things like that, for the most part, you can just run over this. So I'm okay with it. This is now definitely what I would call a success. So right on. I'm super happy with this. I'm excited to hand this over to I don't know. And I think he's really gonna like it. Oh my goodness. All right, cool. So now we can get on to the other stuff. All right, yes, save. And I think what I'll do, I'm gonna go ahead and publish it now. Here. I'd like a nicer screenshot. All right. And we adjust the sun for the best screenshot possible. There we go. I think that's the best one possible. Oh, hello, people. Oh, hey, I don't know. Hey, yeah, hey, I don't know. I just finished. I'm gonna publish it and send you a link. I'll keep it unlisted unless you want me to make it public. It's your call. I don't mind anyway. I just I don't know an easier way to get this to you. So yeah, well, since you're watching, I'll give you a quick little tour. So, well, I guess we'll start at the spot that I'm looking at. So here we go. I tried to preserve the general shape that you had with the area coming down and the aggressive leading curves on the front. Public is fine. Okay, cool. And then how it splays out at the bottom. I did completely change because part of what gave it the look to me, it seemed like, was you had some thrusters on the bottom that kind of made it look like it kind of came down and out, which I thought was really cool. So I kind of ran with that. I added a double the firepower as far as the assault turrets go. I added a ball turret for you. Your landing gear in the same position. The internals are highly reworked. I did maintain, for the most part, I maintained the exact same thrusters that you were trying to do. What? Was that okay? There's no vector thrust system though. But I looked at assuming the vector thrust bits were like in their neutral position. I counted those up and added them, so you've got, I think you actually had a total of 4 hydrogen thrusters forward, and I give you a little upgrade there. I maintained the same number of ion thrusters forward. And then same with your atmospherics. So you had 2, they were at the bottom, and then you had 2 that were on the nacelles over here on the rear. I did keep the same number anyways. I did upgrade the wings to 3 each of the fans. You said you were, thinking about going to either 2 or 3, so I went with 3. Your ions on the wings, you still got 1 up, down, and lateral. They're moved back slightly. I figure most of the weapon fire or the incoming gunfire you're going to take is, if you're using the guns on this, the gunfire is going to be coming from the front and possibly from the bottom if you're attacking ground targets. So I moved these thrusters back a little bit. You have the same number of reverse ion thrusters. Of the small ones, you did lose the large one. I got rid of that. That ship actually had more reverse ion thrust than forward ion thrust. So I figured that was acceptable. You have 2 reverse hydrogen thrusters, just like on the ship. Those were on your nacelles. I think I forgot. I think I just realized I forgot to add. You had 2 reverse atmospheric thrusters, and that was an oversight that I just caught. So you may want to replace like these strakes here with reverse atmos if those were important to you. So thrust wise, I maintained everything you had. You didn't have any lateral thrust. And I don't know if that was an oversight or by design, well, other than the single ion in each direction. And I was so focused on just copying the numbers that you had that I didn't think about what you had. So if that was not intentional, you will need to, or you will probably want to find a place to put some laterals. Yeah, anyway, you got your jump drive. You got the same number of gyros. You got a cool Mohawk, because that makes every ship cooler. And so let's see. You got the same number of hydrogen tanks. You had 6 small hydrogen tanks and 1 small oxygen tank. So those numbers are the same. You had 2. Well, see, you had 4 small reactors, and you have 4. You have the same here. So there's 1 on each side here, and then 1 underneath it, and they kind of make like this kind of shape. And then you have your design had 4 O2H2 engine or O2H2 generators, which this maintains, and then you also had 2 hydrogen engines, which this also has. I think they're under there. And then inside, I was able to keep. You have a. I thought there was a question of it, but you had a survival kit up top, so you still have that. You got your cargo access here. This is much more spacious down here, so if you want to, there's more room to do stuff with.
Critical.
I still have your central ladder here. Some of the internals of what this ladder passes, I think, might have changed. I don't think you had a cargo container down here. The oxygen tank is on the other side of these two, running up, down, parallel. So you come up here. So you still have your like command deck access, external access from the rear here. Get your ladder there, and you can get off your ladder right here. So if you're here, you can just pop off, and you got a nice little stairwell up. Your hanging command seat here. Down here, this is where your survival kit is. It is half hidden, but the part you need is here. I thought it looked kind of interesting. And then you actually have a button panel over here, which is also half hidden, but I figured the important parts were here. These are not wired up. I left that as an exercise to the reader. You got some internal lights. You had a single battery on your you had a single battery on the ship you gave me, and I suspect that was not by design, so I went ahead and upped that to 4. Considering you wanted to put a jump drive on and you were in the middle of modifying everything, I was pretty sure you didn't mean to have only 1. But anyway, so you got 4 now, and you still get your consoles, and then here I threw in some real basic configuration. You've got your batteries on off, and then you've got your atmospheric thrusters, your hydrogens, your ions, and your gyros. You got a button to close all the doors, toggle for your landing gear, and on the right you've got toggling the stockpile of your H2 and O2 tanks. And then here you've got on off. I don't remember if you had a defensive AI block, but I put one in to extend the range of the guns. And then you've got on off for your assault turrets. Toggling the or cycling the what they're shooting at is next. And then I've got on off for the ball turret. And then if you want to take command, 6 autocannon. I love that so much. You got on off. Whoops. Oh, sorry. You got jump is slot 7, and then on off for your reactor is 8. For your jump drive is 8, and then your reactors on off is 9. And then a couple other things: your repair projector, O2H2 generators, and your hydrogen generator on the next page. And that's it. So I think I was able to do justice to the original design and the way that you design things. I was trying to keep in mind your design aesthetic, in addition to kind of how you were trying to experiment with kind of, well, you made the connection that it kind of gave you vibes of some of the stuff that I've done. So I was trying to keep those together while respecting the things that you like and prefer. So I hope you like this. This was super challenging, especially some of the conveyor work on the sides here. But it was very rewarding to do. So it was really cool. Look, okay. I'm glad it. Cool. I'm glad you like it. Excuse me while I die. Yeah, I think it turned out awesome. For what it's worth, I think vertical designs are extremely difficult. I've never really had a design I was very happy with. So your design was especially challenging. But I'll be honest, of the few vertical designs I've ever done, I like what you have here the most. And I really like the way you got that aggressive line here and the curves on the front. Oh, I gave you a heat vent there. Yeah, I think your original design had 2 in the wings, but and you got some greebling, which is space for upgrades or whatever. And I think I even threw in some electronics. I think you might have a couple of event controllers in here. Yeah, I got 2 event controllers and 4 timers, none of which have been used yet. I forgot about that. So the ball turret is self-contained. So the custom turret controller for the ball turret is actually inside the ball turret, as are the event controllers that monitor the ammo level and pop the lights on and off. I built this one a while ago. I don't remember how it works. So have fun with that. I know that it'll shoot though, so that's the most important thing. But I think these lights will turn on like when it's out of ammo or something like that. Anyway, and I colored the thrusters, so yeah. Anyway, this was so much fun. Yeah, it is. And I took it down to Pertam and flew it around, and even without lateral thrusters, it's really easy to fly. It's fun to fly. So yeah, man. That was so cool. So yeah, I'll publish that. I'll publish it right now, as a matter of fact. It's called the Cuppa Tea, by the way. That was literally the last thing you said before I asked you what it was called, and your response was, "I don't know." So it's not like a veiled slight at your national heritage or anything like that. All right, let's yeah, we'll grab you. And boop, cup of tea, yeah. All right, it's a ship, steam, and boop. Sure. Close that. All right, so that's good. So what it's worth, I just so this doesn't look like gibberish, I use a nomenclature system. You're 100% obviously welcome to eliminate it, but just so you know what this is a fighting ship. It has atmospherics, hydrogen, ion engines, and a single jump drive, and then the name. So, also all of your cargo, I believe, well, that's easier to show you. I've got the Izzy's tags set up also on some of your stuff. So your cargo, yeah, your cargo terminal, which is in the lower deck, is set up so that you've got like one of each tool and a couple of bottles and like a rifle and some food, and then you've got a dedicated cargo to hold ice. I think it fills it up about halfway with ice. Yeah, the small cargoes seem to hold like 45,000, so yeah, some there. And then you've got one cargo for dedicated to pull in assault cannon ammo, one for the auto cannons in the ball turret, and then one to hold reactor fuel. So there's no connector on here because I wasn't really sure what your plan is for that, but if you add a connector and then dock it to something running Izzy's, or add Izzy's, because I think there are, oh shit, I don't remember if there's programmable blocks on here. But anyways, if you get Izzy's involved one way or another, it should stock up for you. Program. Oh, there's none on here. Okay. Oops. Well, that's you know what, have fun fitting that in. You could replace these two if you wanted with the programmable blocks. But anyway, I'm sure you're gonna want to customize it. But yep. So there you go. Let me make sure that's up to date. So here, CUPPA. Boop. Place. Yes. And then publish. That one, that one, that one. Sure. Go away. Go away. All right, and here. Copy page. And there you go. Boop. All right. There's a link in the Nightfall server for you. Yeah, vertical ships are hard. They are so hard. Hello to the other person that just joined us. Welcome. All right, shut that down. And there. All right, back to here. So. Ooh. Uh-oh. Oh, they saw rockets. Oh, rockets. Cool. All right, cool. So, on to this thing today. Let's see. That took 34 minutes. All right, good. The last time I planned to spend about 10-15 minutes messing with that ship, I think it was like an hour and a half or maybe 2 hours. So I did much better today. So this has come along. I don't know about nicely because I'm biased, but I'm really happy with how it has come, how far it has come. So I went through, I painted a lot on the inside. I've got lights when the grav drive is on. All the lights in like kind of the engineering areas they turn red because when the grav drives are on and you are slammed against the wall at like 500 G, you probably want a red light flashing in your face to let you know you fucked up. So, and then when the grav drives are off, they go back to this orange, which I think is just cool. And you can get to everything. So you can come down here, get to everything to make repairs. Me through. Yep, make repairs. If you need to get to the other side, so you can get over here. There are stairwells. Oop. And here we go. So we can still get to everything. You can't quite get through here, so I had to put a stairwell on both sides. I don't really love that, but you know, it's all right. It is what it is. So I got a bunch of extra electronics and stuff in here. I got there's my AI defensive block to extend the range of the guns, and then there's another ladder so you can jump down here and get to the rest of the gravity drive. And there's room to expand and build, add other stuff if you need to. The bilge is down here. It's still empty, and there's still a door to the outside. It'll probably remain empty for a while, but it's illuminated. I got red lights. Got our ladder coming up here, so we've got the rest of the gravity drive here, right? And if you move forward, you're at the end of the engineering section, and all of this is not pressurized. This is all vacuum. I figured that would be a little bit of a security measure. Shouldn't be back here anyway. And then I have an improvised corner airlock. So it's a door, a corner, and a door. And that I thought was pretty neat. It's hindered only by the fact that these doors are a little awkward to get through, especially if you're using your jetpack. But it works. So this is the entrance to the pressurized crew area. If you head up these stairs, you get to the flight deck here, which doesn't have much in it yet. Alternately, if instead of heading up the stairs from there, you had gone to here, you are now in the crew quarters area. So this is not finished. This will be a crew room. This will be a crew room as well. This one, and they will probably extend all the way up to here. So they're going to be big, like tall anyway. That's actually more space than I've ever had to work with, or that I've ever chosen to work with for crew quarters. So it's actually going to be a little bit of a challenge to figure out how to use it all. You would put a sensor where the spawn point is to turn off the grav drive if it gets stuck on. That's a really good idea. And you know what that reminds me of? I don't have a spawn point. Turn off all the blocks in a group, because if you get hit in a timer block, it won't know to turn off. Oh, right. I see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so yeah, in case that timer block gets damaged, it becomes a single point of failure. Ooh, it's good programming design, but not good for redundancy for battle damage. Very good. Yeah, that's a good point. That's also a great reminder. I have not added a spawn point, so I'll put a medical room in the on the flight deck. I mean, that's really where the ship's going to be. You're going to spend all your time up there. So I'm gonna make a mental note to do that. So we do have lights. Green is safety, and so like this area is pressurized, which is why this is not an airlock. I'll add lights up here. This area should not feel like you're in the underbelly of the ship. Likewise here, when I cover this over, there will be lights. And then red means you are entering, you're leaving the good area. You're leaving the good place, going to the bad place. So in this case, it's an airlock to engineering. Again, more engineering. In this case, it's reactors and a little bit of cargo, and then all the gyros. And all the gyros, I am pretty sure you can get to. Maybe not easily, but you can get to them all, as well as to the turret rotating mechanisms and all that. So yeah, this all took so much time to work out. I think I tried 3 or 4 different placements for the reactors, and I think the gravity drive, the current location and design, I think is the 4th. I think it's it's either the 3rd or the 4th time I actually built the gravity drive. And then as far as figuring out placement, it's either the 4th or the 5th time. Because at one point I was just placing blocks down to figure out where to put, figure out where I wanted to put everything. And then we have, so we have the flight deck here. And I may put a green light over this. I may just leave it as is. So you have a full airlock, just for safety, to get down to the crew area. And then the 2 exits in the back. But these actually are to leave the ship. This one puts you on the back deck. And the other one puts you on the back deck, or you can continue straight through back to where we started, where the grav drive is, or where the grav drive starts. So, so that's it. Overall, it works pretty well. I need to do some fine tuning on how the grav drive is controlled. I do think the two, the 2 event controllers have a race condition, because they're both monitoring thrusters to turn on and set the gravity direction. And then when the thruster they're watching is not on, have a thrust like above 0 or whatever, then they try to turn the grav drive off. And so when the ship is, if it moves has a little bit back and forth, like if you're accelerating or stopping or whatever, I'm seeing some weird, the power's fluctuating. It's like it pegs out a red and then it goes back down, and it goes super fast. And my max speed is not as high as when, the max speed in this current world is about 200 something. When I disable the event controller that manages the reverse thrust, and it's just turn the drive on when the forward thrusters are active and turn the drive off when they're not active, the power draw is about half, and my max speed is it's pegged at 300, whatever the speed limit is for the world. So I think the 2 event controllers are fighting and causing the drive to flip-flop real fast. And so the net benefit is still very high, but it's not the full benefit. So I need to figure that out a little bit. Yeah, I know. Lol. I forgot to put a spawn point. And I will need to conveyor it up. All right, so we've got. All right, that goes to the crew area. And I very, very cleverly blocked every spot where I might have a conveyor. Oh, wait a minute. That spot. Oh, actually, I might want to change this anyway. and make it conveyor access, because if you're outside the ship, there is no way to get to anything. Ignore those. All right. It is that one. Ah, interesting. All right. All right, you're stuck to the top there. All right, out of curiosity, what happens? Oh, this is the top. Hang on. Oh, no, it's not. Ooh, what is under there? All right, hang on. Okay. All right, hang on now. We can hook it up right here. Yep. So we'll do, we can do like a T to bring that up. We'll run conveyor through the hull to there, where it can go straight up into a medical room that I can put right there in the corner. Perfect. All right, so here we go. We're only going to do the one side, so... All right. Boop. And... Oh, that does mean I'm running conveyor out here. Not a fan of that, but... Let's... Let's see if there's any alternative. So far, I've been very fortunate to be able to figure out solutions to things that don't involve like what I think are bad compromises, like having to run conveyor on the outer hull. So let's see if I can maintain that. So that'll come down over here. All right, so this direction is also the outer hull. Okay, it might be possible. Look at these freaking pipes. Why can't I use those? Because I got giant armored friggin' doors everywhere, that's why. Whoops. But we can, instead of going to the left, we could go to the right to stay under this, or inside the ship. We can go to the right and then go here and connect to that. That might work. Let's use orange so I don't confuse it with... Oh, well, that one's already gone. Anyway. Oh. Alright, defaults. Boop. We'll use dark red. Oh, that was the issue with the grav drive that you faced. Oh, interesting. Or an external med port for the flat one. Oh. You're talking about over by by the door where I had said I could put cargo access. That's a good idea too. Yeah, that's a really good idea. All right, let's get that, and then it would be under there, here, so it would be that one. Which would be that one. All right, let's go see how that works. Let me out, let me out, let me out. Ah. Okay, that's armor. This is just a C. Oh, perfect. Yeah, this will work. All right, let's go repair the damage that I did on the other spot. Yeah. And since we're here and we're going to be doing this, yeah. Well, now that you've mentioned using the what are they called? Life kit, survival station, fucking recharge station. What are they called? Now that you mentioned those, yeah, I don't know which I want to add. Do I want a cargo access or do I want that? That is a tough choice. That is a really tough choice. Both. I can't put both. I mean, I can put one on one side and the other on the other side, but I can't put both unless like I got rid of that. But I don't really want to. I like having the opening just face to the back and not be an inadvertent like shot trap. Oh, cargo into the bridge. Oh. Okay. Yeah. So I could do that. Yeah, I could do that on that side. Or better yet, right in the middle there. All right. Cool. So I'm going to put a refill station out here. Of course. Why is that not the same group as the what is this? Oh, it's a food. All right. I don't have one. All right. Well, let's go. What is it? Refill here. Okay, we don't need that or that or that. All right. So Alright, I'm gonna do this in mirror mode because I want the other side to do the same thing. I don't think that's going to be a problem. So that go oh. Alright. Let me out. All right. Okay, so this is feeding in through there. Okay, so it looks like what I need then is all right, we're gonna go here. Let me through, please. And then there. All right, there he is. and then there. So I've, oh, okay. Let's disable mirroring for now. All right, cool. So this is the refill spot. We'll do the full block. I love it. Okay, so then... Oh, fuck. Got a light there. Damn it. Alright, there's enough conveyor pieces here. I feel like this should work. Alright, you. Alright, okay, so there it is there. So, yep, here. So it's that one and that one. Okay. Alright. So we got this guy. And then... So he's there. Oh man, this light is in a bad spot. Alright, let's go see down here. So what I can do is... Alright, so once again, if I go this way, that's exterior hole right there. But I can go inside here and across and link up there. That. Two. Okay. So. All right, this. That's that. All right, this is a corner. Oop. Hello. Hey, Arlen, what's going on, man? How you doing, my friend? Okay. All right, so I can connect these two to each other by going like that. Right, come down, across, pop out this way, go and like so. So now they will be connected to each other. I don't know why I'm making it hard for myself. There we go. All right, so when it's the same color, it's on the same network, right? He'll come down there. Those two are connected there, right? Okay. So then the idea is, all right, that is, all right. We need an L shape or an elbow. Yep. And we're going to keep the open side. Actually, all of this on both sides is unpressurized, so we can keep this. Yeah, we'll do like that. And then here here, here, and there. Okay. So, at this point, oh shit. Wait a minute. That's not a good idea for an airlock. All right. One thing at a time. The fuck? Wait a minute. What was my thinking here? Red is here. Uh-oh. Alright, well, I definitely know that I would do that. And then that. Let's see. Yeah, we'll put that there. And then I believe... Yeah, this isn't gonna work. What the hell was I thinking? Shot. Alright, well, I think this is wrong. Yep. Alright, cool. Alright, cool, cool, cool. And then this goes over here, and it was supposed to... Right, okay. So... Boop. So this will go straight across to here. And we'll do like that. Here, here, and there. Alright, so. Not the button. Right, so those connect across. Oh, these are not where I was thinking. All right, well that simplifies things immensely. Boop. Aha. I think I might have made this unnecessarily difficult on myself. Embarrassing. No, I think I needed to do this to connect the outside pieces. So I think I do think I needed to run that through here, and then now over here So I think they're still not connected though, right? Just want to make sure. Okay, orange and red. So okay, for now. I think for now I need to use a junction. If I use a T, one side will be airtight and the other side won't. And my concern is, my expectation with an airlock is if the outer door is closed and you open the inner door, you stay pressurized. But if I use a T, that will not always be true, or it risks not being true. So I'll do that. And then here, that was just a turn, huh? That's all it was? All right, well. All right, so here we can put put a floor. Sure. And this one. And over here. Oh, there it is. Okay. I thought I left some empty space somewhere. All right, so I'll fill that one. Then here. This is a straight. All right, cool. Okay, so that means I hate this right here. I hate it. But we need a 3-axis elbow in order to not have this. So right, so this would be a C, just like that. Yes. All right, so we have refill. Oh. Oh, okay, well, no oxygen. All right. Anyway, I've got one there. Okay. I think that's all connected. Oops. Oh, fuck me. I lost. Oh. Damn it, I failed. Still have 3 broken networks. All right. Side to sides are still joined. Go in between the doors, into the bridge, and down. Yes, you'll lose 1 bridge block area. Okay. All right, so before... So this came over here. That was just an armor block, which means the connection came through here. And I believe it connected right there. Or did it? Oh. Wait, that's a conveyor. So I'm in right. Obviously. Let's go look at what it was. Okay. So on the one side, we had an elbow that led to the back. Oh, that's what connected it. All right. And... oh, okay. Yeah, so we did have that there. This piece. Okay. So, yeah. Okay, okay. So it did need to go up there. Oh, oh. Okay. All right. So the center can become a T. Yeah. All right. All right. So boom, 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 boom. Clean that up. All right. So the center becomes a T. Oh, wait. Right. Okay. So, yeah. So I did have that part correct. This then will become just a block. This becomes straight down. Oh. Okay, so this becomes, this can do that. It's not a T, it's, uh-oh. Shit, something's loose. What's loose? Hang on now. That's not a good sign. Okay. This is where the cargo will be. Aha. Okay, so then here. All right. Okay, right. So behind there is the other airlock. All right. So then here, just like that. And then this one, like so. Huh, shit. All right, we're almost there. Okay. So we have restored. All right, good. This is actually where I want to be, because what I wanted was, yeah, because originally I had the top connected. Cool. So a little rerouting here, and we've added the cargo access, and then I added the two that go across here. So now all I need to do is connect these two. Now I think that is sitting on a light. Okay. All right, that's fine. We will just connect it elsewhere. Where? Kind of like that. All right, here we go. Let's turn that off. All right, 0. And let's continue. Okay, I need to find a way. So okay, we've got all of this. Where your cargo will bring it out one more block to hook up below, or 2 if that's where the light is. Are you suggesting to bring the cargo forward and put it like right on top of this block? Like right there? Clicky. You know, as much as I like where my light is, if I just move the light here, that would simplify a lot of shit. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to make a copy. Alright, first things first, delete that. And then we'll make a copy of this as a backup. Alright, we're going to get down into here. Okay. So, now on these, it does not matter. So, I think... Alright, yeah. So... if I kill that... yeah. So I believe this can, yeah, become a straight piece. There. And so can that. 1, 2, and this becomes a T. Yeah, and then I'll just put a light here and bring that across there. Copy all and copy paste. These are the light engineering grav drive. Okay. Light grav. So you now need to include you. Alright. Cool. So I mean, they're on a line now, so that kind of works. I could do the same there, and I guess basically there. I don't like having whites. I don't like having lights right up against the wall because you get a lot of bleed through, like all that shit. I guess I'm getting it anyway, so fuck it. All right. The symmetry is what matters. So. All right, boop. And oh shit. I think I booped 2 by mistake. All right. Oh no. That's, oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Oh, that's weird. I don't usually use thin panels to make like rooms like this, so it looks weird to me. All right. So put you there, and then we'll bring you back to here. Oh. Okay. All right. Copy all. Copy, paste. No. Copy. Paste. All right. And then here, this is light engineer. 1, 2. All fixed. And now, it's a thing of beauty. All one brilliant yellow network. I can ascend up to here. It makes it a little hard to see what you're looking at, but it is insanely useful. All right, here. Here. Yeah, we've got some greeble. We got two kinds of greeble, right? You get through here. Cargo access. That may be an airtightness violation, but it's all right. We'll fix it. That's good. All right, this is awesome. Woohoo! Extend cargo into bridge. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Well, it's solved. That's super great. I love it. Okay. Where should I put air tanks? That might be a good spot. At the same time, I don't think a single air tank is the best idea. I think maybe a few more might be merited. All right, I'm pretty sure this is an outside block. Oh, I think I just... No, I didn't. Okay, cool. Shift P? Yeah. Sure is. All right. So... And these are... on the other side. Okay, so if I really need to, I can build in here. But I do want to make sure I get over to here to get access to things, to do stuff. Alright, I have lots of room over here, so maybe I'll just use some of this room. All right. Do I want to put air tanks where all the nuclear fuel goes back and forth? That doesn't seem like the best idea. Now, I was thinking I want to put a vent in each of these crew compartments. So I would branch a pipe off of these lines here. Maybe that's where I put the air tanks. Just maybe that'll make sense. It will cut into the space a little bit, but these things, by the standards that I usually kind of end up with. Oh, no problem. I don't know. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for dropping in. Good to see you. I'm glad I got a chance to show you the ship that I made. Based on your design, and yeah, I hope you like it. I'll see you later, man. Take it easy. Okay. All right, so I was thinking something along the lines of this. Okay, I had not... There's no need to have this hallway go all the way up. I'm fine with the hallway being like just like one block like that. And if I do that, that means the top level of these apartments has one extra block. That's pretty cool. So if I do that, and that, I'm not sure I really want these apartments to go all the way up to the top deck there. I feel like maintaining that sort of twin hull design is beneficial. My God, with the spam phone calls today, it is too much. Or, not today, but these days. All right. Oh. So I could put like a bunch of air vents pointing down here into the hallway, and then they pressurize the quarters by allowing air to move through the door. But if you are a hermit and don't leave your room very often, you could suffocate. Oh my goodness. All right. So then I might want to, if I wanted to go that route, I would want to weigh like, I think I finally found a use for the Willis duck. This is such a niche case. So what I'm thinking is, conceivably, instead of putting air vents into each room here, I could run, say, 4 down the center. It's effectively the same number, but, you know, sometimes things look cool when there's a bunch in a row. 4 down the center, and then use... one of the Willis ducks has a vent in it. Actually, no, I don't think that'll work. Let's go look at it. Yeah. I have a mod that renames them to maintenance duct. Let's see here. Because I hate the name Willis duck. Oh, that's cool. All right, cool. So we have the maintenance ducts. So my thought is there's one that has a vent, but I think it's on top, isn't it? What the fuck is that? I think that's just greebling. Yeah, okay. Well, one has a vent in it. That one. So I was thinking, oh, finally a really weird edge case, but I have a vent so I can let air get through without having to provide a window, so you still have privacy. But no, it still doesn't work because the Willis duct doesn't go that way. I could. Yeah, no, that doesn't work either because. Oh, actually, these are staggered, so they could. I would have to put. Have a light there. Okay, that is a problem. But conceivably. Oh, there's a light there too. Well, that's a problem. So conceivably, I could stagger the doorways and then put the cover like that. Okay, but truthfully, you can still see in there. Well, I guess you could do that. No, you can actually still see through it. All right. Well, I suppose with a little bit more, well, a little bit of prior planning with intent to use those, you could probably make them. Oh, that's cool. You'd probably make them work, but I still stand by my opinion that I really don't like them as a block or an addition. I really feel they were. I don't mean to be so harsh about it, but I kind of feel like they are a waste of development time. Like, just about anything else would have been more valuable. This is the first time like I've genuinely had a case where I'm like, okay, I need a barrier that blocks vision but allows air or gas to pass, or allows air to pass through, and the Willis ducts will do that. But even so, they won't solve the problem here. So even in this extremely weird edge case, they actually don't address the issue. And this is the first time I've ever thought like, oh, I know something that will actually solve this problem. Oh man. Oh, interesting. So, a couple years ago, I was down in Houston. So yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, a couple years ago, I was down in Houston. We were driving through, and we stopped at there's a NASA facility, NASA museum, something, right? You hear it all the time in the movies. They're like, Houston, we have a problem thing. So there's something there. Anyway, we stopped by there and they had a bunch. It was the part that we saw was like a museum, and it had some rockets out there and some moon mission stuff to look at, and some little remote control rovers that had or remote control cars that had like a 8-minute time delay or something to simulate what it's like to control something like on Mars. They had different stuff, but the thing that we noticed was they didn't really have a whole lot, which was a little bit surprising. And at the time, I attributed it to just my personal experience of, I grew up near Washington, D.C. So that's where the National Air and Space Museum, that's where a lot of the Smithsonian museums are, like the big national museums, or for the Air and Space Museum, for natural history, or what's the other one? There's a third like major one that I used to go to all the time, and then there's a bunch of other ones. There's an art museum. There's like 12 museums, and they're all in the same tiny area, or at least you can get to them all in the same tiny area. And it was so close to me that like I would go there routinely. Like, it wasn't a big deal. Like, it's just like, oh, let's go to the museum, let's go hang out. Like, it was that convenient. And those museums are absolutely like huge. I don't think there are any museums bigger than that in the US. So when we went to the Houston Museum a couple years ago, and we were looking around, and my thought was like, it's not very big. I kind of assumed, like, I experienced that with pretty much every museum I go to in the US because of where I grew up. And that, like, and it's, you know, it's just the way it is. So so I'm always like, well, I'm always having to tell myself, well, you know, I grew up, like, I was really lucky, right? Because, like, I would meet people, like, as I traveled around, and be like, oh, I'd love to go to the National Air and Space Museum in DC someday. And in my head, I'm like, I've been there, it's not a big deal. But I had no normal basis for comparison. So I was very fortunate. So I learned that, you know, what I learned was normal was actually quite exceptional. And so now when I go and see, like, other museums, and they, like, my first reaction is like, oh, there's not much here. Like, I have to constantly remind myself, like, you spent 18 years, you know, going to these national treasures, you know, these massive things. So your perception is a little skewed. So when we went to Houston, and I had the same feeling, I marked it up to that. I was like, oh, it's just what I'm used to, right? I have this really weird, skewed sense of normal. Spam call. And it turns out, I just got a text message that, no, actually it is a lot bigger in Houston. We just missed it. we somehow didn't see part of it when we went the first time. So that's kind of funny. All right, back to my woes. Okay, let's look at all the blocks. What do we have that will pass air but block vision? Well, I like to use catwalk. It doesn't really block vision, but it does okay. What else? I know in the olden days, people used to like to use, it's this piece here, this vertical, this sloped window here. Oh, I forgot there's a vertical one. They used to like to use that one too, for both, like, stairs, and then also as, like, a shutter to sort of block your vision but allow air to get through. Come to think of it, any block that's not airtight will do it. Passage blocks. No, I don't want an open passage going into the house right next to the door. That doesn't make sense. Beam blocks. So you could put, and scaffold blocks. Those definitely won't really, I mean, those are so insubstantial though. Hey, Joshua. Original catwalk works. It has a tiny hole in the center and is as thick as a steel. Oh, right, the original catwalk. Where would that be hiding? I forgot. They're so ugly, I forgot they exist. Genuinely, these guys. The steel catwalk, I think you mean, right? Also, welcome. I didn't know you were in here. Yeah, you're right. Yep, they're the little holes. Yep. Oh, there it is. And now I have a bulletproof argument for future discussions on the fucking Willis ducks. Oh my goodness. Yeah. They're so ugly, but you know what? They do exactly what I asked for. So, oh God, they're so ugly. Anyway, yeah, so all right, that could work. If I wanted to do that, and then I could put, say, like 4 vents would be cool. Could even do the nice civilian air vents. So they're all connected. So then I could just run one line to the side, to one of the sides here. Oh, actually. Boom. Now they're connected. Hey, Arlen. I was just musing over how I want to make sure. So these are my living quarters that I'm going to build. And I was just kind of thinking about different ways to make sure they have air supply to them. And initially I was like, oh, I'll just put an elbow here and then a vent for each apartment. And then I was just thinking of like a different way. Like maybe I could do something different. Like put all the vents actually going into the hallway, and then the apartments don't have their own vent, but they have something that lets air into them. You know, so like they're not airtight. So that's really what I was. That's where it came from. The whole like, oh well, we'll use the catwalk. Just considering options. You know, nothing super deep. Because honestly, I'm not really super jazzed on this. Yeah. They are? These catwalks are airtight? Oh no, you're kidding. Well, all right. Here's another idea. I don't love this one either, but we use the new catwalk. Oh no, that doesn't do it at all. Maybe if they were back to back. Nope, that doesn't even remotely do it. Yeah, so I started by looking at the Willis ducks, and they won't do it. They won't. There's no Willis duck that provides the passage I need, right? That provides airflow in the same direction. Like there's just no Willis duck that will do it. I don't know how to explain it. Do I still have them out here? I do. So like all the Willis ducks are like that, right? And even if I put this on both sides, you can still kind of see, well, you can still see through them, all right? Although it's not too bad, you can still see through them. I do have a problem where I would need to put a cover on both sides, and given the hallway is only 1 block long, it's a problem. So I can stagger them, for example, like this, you know, like so. But it does get to be, it's still a problem at the end here because I have these lights. So not insurmountable, but it does take 3 blocks of space in order to do this. There's one that has a vent in like the flat side, which that was my first thought, was I would use that one. But the problem, like this one here, but the problem is like there's no way, like the air still has to get inside. So if I put it like this, it'll be blocked at the top and the bottom. You know, like if we put it like that, it doesn't work. So yeah, I tried them. But the one, all right, so what you're saying is, but the one with the vent in the floor and the one in the room, and connect them under the floor. Oh. Okay. I definitely wasn't thinking like that. That would work. That would work. All right. Oh. That absolutely would work. Oh, as a matter of fact, so this floor, it's gray, so I know that's exterior hull. So what I'll do is I'll run them down the barrier wall between them, is what I can do. 1, 2, 3, for example, right? I could put like that and that, and then this transition. Come on, I know there's a slope. Where is it? Ramp. There it is. Is that the right way? Hang on. There we go. So I could do like that. So I have here, and then down here. We can just put any old end piece, and then the cover. You know what? That works. Oh wait. Oh, I happen to pick an intersection. Okay. But it still works, right? I just need... Let's put another angle. Yeah. Yeah. That actually works. All right. Or place the vent directly over the vented Willis. Pointed downward into the vent. Yeah. You would have just put them in the floor. Yeah. Yeah, putting them in the floor would be nicer. Because then I could use the wall space for some inset blocks or something. The other reason I don't want to put them in the floor is because that's exterior hull. And I feel like that's a weak point. Or that could be a weak point. I could put them in the ceilings. Of course, at that point, if I do that, like Joshua, you suggested, oh, put the vent facing the Willis. At that point, I might as well just run conveyors and put a vent into the room, which, you know, yeah, that's why I don't like Willis ducts. And it's kind of neat though. I like I think it's neat. I found a way to use them at all. Yeah. You can have a vent facing any open port to a Willis. Oh, right. 4 vents, redundancy, mostly aesthetics. I got 4 apartments. I was originally going to have 1 air vent go into each. And then I thought, oh, if I put them all 4 together, it'll look nice, you know? It'll be kind of cool. Could be 2. Could be 1. The more air vents you have, the faster it pressurizes. So there's that. 4 is probably more, well more than necessary, but yeah. I'd really been thinking along the lines of, you know, just put an elbow off each of these and then have a vent going down. Yeah, we can do this. Here, and here. Something like this. For each one, you know? And then each apartment is only 2 blocks high. Alright, Arlen. Thanks for dropping by. It's always nice to see you. Have fun doing your work, whatever it is you got to do. Take care, man. So we can do like that. Yeah, something like that. Here. Let's see, we could do half blocks, and we have the troffer lights. So before, I would never do something like that. I love the ratio of space for a deck when you have 1.5 block of height. Like, it feels spacious without being, like, if it's 2 blocks tall, it almost starts to feel a bit opulent, you know. And when it's just a 1 block tall, it feels a bit cramped. So at 1.5, it's a really, especially for medium to smaller rooms, it can feel really good, like from just the way it feels. Like when you walk in, it's like, oh, okay, I'm not in a tiny room, I'm not in a ridiculously big room, or whatever it is. So I've wanted to build like this in the past on many occasions, and the problem just comes down to how do you light it, you know? You either end up putting corner lights in the middle of the wall, which look crappy, or lights on the floor, which is sometimes, usually, for me, just too weird. Or I would have to do like kind of these faux drop-down lights like this, and then put a light either here or make that the inset light. And even then, if the room is not quite big enough, it just feels weird. So the troffer lights were a really nice addition. All right. So I'm thinking about the loss of the ability to use inset blocks in this wall because of the ducting. All right, let's get you. And here. Boop. Here. And there. All right, we can go goodbye, 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 and goodbye. All right. So all right, yeah. Yeah, the loss of the ability to use the inset blocks on that entire wall. I think I'm not going to go that route. It was a fun exercise, though. One thing I always felt was a mistake in spaceships are showers and restrooms in each bunk. Ships are ships, and unless they are resort ships, they are built for utility. True. That is true. Large sea vessels have shared bathroom areas and small bunk areas. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. I always figure, like, it depends on the ship, right? Like you said, a resort ship is gonna be luxurious, right? Whereas a working ship, like a military ship or a I don't know, maybe a freighter, they're gonna be more Spartan, right? The military ship for sure, right? They are absolutely gonna minimize the amount of space used on something that people can just share. I honestly have no idea how, like, things like freighters or oil tankers or research vessels, like, I don't know where they fall between those two extremes. But I do feel like if you have a civilian ship, they're gonna be somewhere in the middle, and so you might have, like, I think of, like, civilian ships, especially like a slightly, I don't say bigger ship, but something more than just like a one-person fighter or like a one-person grocery getter, right? So I'm thinking, like, not necessarily a yacht, but like these small boats that people can get, cabin cruisers, right? Like, they might have, like, a small one might have a single bathroom and like maybe 2 rooms in it, right? And so everyone shares the bathroom. But a slightly larger one might have like a house, like a master bathroom, like a master bedroom with a dedicated bathroom, and then it might have, say, like 2 other rooms and then a shared bathroom or something like that. So I feel like it's like in between the extreme of everybody shares one versus everyone has their own. And that's usually where I fall when I design. It kind of depends. But yeah, I get where you're coming from. You would have one mess, one head, and multiple private bunks with mild living areas such as captain quarters. Even the captain does not get a private restroom on most real-world ships. I didn't know that. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about that in the context of like the ships that I build. Most of the ships that I build aren't really designed to have, even from a role-playing perspective, they're not like, the intent isn't that they're occupied by more than one person anyway. I don't tend to build, like, I don't normally build ships this big. So like, I think about like, when I build a ship, usually the concept is something like the Millennium Falcon, right? Where there's one person, or there's like a couple, like a boyfriend, girlfriend, or something, which I know that's not Han and Chewie, but like it's like, or like, yeah, it's basically, it's going to be like one bedroom, a bathroom, obviously, because there's only like one person expected. It's a solo person's ship, even if it's not like a tiny ship. Most of what I build is like that. So I haven't really thought too much about it. The few times I've ever built something where I'm like, this would have a crew, and I'm going to build rooms for the crew. Yeah, it really depends. Actually, it's funny, now that we're talking about it. So I did a playthrough where I refurbished the old green base starter map. And in that, I ended up, because it's a base, I was like, okay, we're going to have staff that work at the base. And so in one section, I built, I don't know, around 12 staterooms for the crew. And then on the hallway, so you kind of had like, the rooms were all on one side, or like if this was the hallway here, right? Oh, let's turn that off. So like this was like the hallway that led to the crew quarter area, right? So all on the one side were rooms, and then there was like a stairwell you can go up, and above them were another set of rooms. And on the right side, I had community or shared showers, but I had like four toilets and 2 showers, right? And they were all to be shared by the 12 crew. So yeah, so I mean, it fits what you're saying. Yeah. It's good for the crew, as the captain is treated like crew, not a king. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. At most, the toilet gets used for 10 minutes out of the day per person. Yeah. 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 Yeah, I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from. I'll tell you though, that really doesn't bother me too much. Yeah, when I see people's builds, if I have a problem with, like, if something about a ship or something that someone built doesn't sit well with me, there's usually other things other than having dedicated bathrooms for each crew member. Although, now that I say that, I don't know that I've ever really noticed that, which means either I've seen it and it's not bothered me, or the few things I've ever looked at didn't have it. So I don't know. But I get where you're coming from. Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense, you know, especially on a ship where space is tight, you know. Yeah, it makes sense. Would I want a window here? Would you really want to look into a hallway? Would you want people in the hallway looking in? No. But theoretically, on the window, you could have blinds on the inside. So let's see, in a hotel, you wouldn't have a window into the hallway. But if it's the sort of hotel that has a center atrium, so that the rooms open onto a hallway which is exposed to the interior, those oftentimes will have windows because they're designed just like outside rooms, which will have windows. So yeah, I guess you wouldn't have a window looking into a hallway. Not really. Let's go over here. All right, 1, 2, 3, and boop boop. Nope. There we go. You can go. Oh, right. All right, so we'll do this. Nope. There you go. There. All right, you, and boop. There. Okay. And now we'll swap these out for the thin doors. Boop. So these doors are a good example here. These doors are more like what you'd see on a ship, right? So these kind of fall in line with like what you're talking about like space being at a premium and all that. Which I 100% agree with and understand, but I think for me it's just not as important. Like, it doesn't bother me as much. It sounds like maybe you have some personal experience like with boats and all that, so I could see how it would bother you more. If I see something that's supposed to be an aircraft, the problems on that are probably going to bother me more than someone who doesn't fly. So I can get that. But if I see, now that we have these doors, if I see a ship that's using lab doors or even like these, it doesn't bother me. Yeah, it doesn't really bother me, but I get where you're coming from. I think I get where you're coming from. Yeah. That one and that one. That seems nice. All right. Oop. And you? All right. Cool. One, two. All right, here. And there. All right, put these guys. And I think we'll come down there. Boop. Yeah. Guess there's no reason not to do that. I mean, yeah, I got you. I got you. Yeah. You actually built things in real life, and ships are made to move stuff, and space is everything. Yeah, I got you. if the stuff moves just people, you'll focus on optimizing that space for the type of people you're moving. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I would agree. Or I would agree, or I understand. Yeah. 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 Boop, 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 boop. All right. Dude. Yeah. Crews spend most of their time in communal areas or working, and passengers spend most of their time relaxing. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah. All right. Boop. Boop. Oh, shit. All right. Well, whatever. Oh, right. There we go. DD. And 1, 2. Yep. All right, that's 2 wide, and this one is 2 wide. Okay, and that is a full block. Okay, so if we make good use of inset blocks, then this can be kind of 3 blocks wide. And this can be 3 blocks. One could be 3 blocks wide, one could be 4 blocks wide. This one, half of this wall is already used, but it could extend to the left and get 3 blocks wide. And this one could extend to the left and get 3 blocks as well. Yeah. Cool. Alrighty. Okay. Let's get out of here. Wait a minute. Yeah. Wait. Yeah, it's fine. All right. All right, you go away. Cool. All right. I'm gonna blueprint this bad boy. Hello, Lulu. What you doing? All right. Few bunks, lockers for each, a desk, maybe TV, a bookshelf. Keep food in the mess. Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think a kitchen for each crew is probably excessive, depending on, like, I think the inset kitchen blocks aren't too bad. Like one of them is almost looks like just a microwave and like a couple coffee cups, and like I don't think that would be too bad. When I make crew rooms, I tend to think of like hotel rooms, and that's just kind of where my mind it is. That's kind of the closest analog I have. I've never lived or worked or built real ships, so you know, I've seen things on TV and movies, but from personal experience, I just go by, like, I use hotels, and I've stayed in like you know, inexpensive motel or hotels, motels, whatever, that are small and discount and budget, and like you get a bed and you get a tiny bathroom, and that's it, and like a TV, and that's it. And then I've stayed in like nicer places when I've been traveling for business, or I've even at one point I got to I ended up staying in an extended stay hotel for like a month, and like paid for by my business. But those places are almost like full on like townhomes. So like you go in and you've got multiple rooms, like the cheaper ones or the more inexpensive ones or the budget ones. They're like a single room, bed, TV, and then like a small bathroom, right? And then the pricier ones, or like the extended stay ones, they have more complex layouts. They might have multiple rooms. They might have a TV in more than one room, and a lot of times they'll have a dedicated kitchen area. And at the midline, you might have like the inset block that has the microwave and a couple coffee cups, and then at the longer stay ones, I don't want to say pricier because I've never really stayed like somewhere expensive, but like the ones that are designed for like long-term residents, because you know you're traveling somewhere for business, you're going to be there for 4 months or whatever. Those will have like a proper kitchenette. So you know, might have like, that might be like multiple inset kitchen blocks or like that dedicated kitchen block. That's kind of where my mind is when I'm designing through spaces. But it like you said though, it goes back to the purpose of the ship and the people on it. So I've done plenty of ships where the crew quarters are actually just a few bunks in a single room, and then there's a common dining area, right? There's a table and a kitchen and like a common area. So yeah, I get what you're saying, man. Yeah. 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 People can be gross and not clean up after themselves. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Ew. Oh yeah. That's disgusting. Yeah. 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 I'm not gonna read that out. Nobody else needs to suffer. Yeah. All right. Well, I have to run upstairs and take care of the little kitty. So I think this stream has been going on for 2.5 hours roughly. So I think I will end it. I don't know that I made a lot of progress. I did get some significant work done getting these refill stations added and then piped in. That took a moment. And then also the medical room and cargo access on the flight deck, which I think were important improvements that I had completely forgotten about. So I think that's good. Otherwise, I think mostly the stream was just talking about stuff. I guess a little bit of a showcase at the beginning with Cuppa Tea, with the Cuppa Tea. So yeah, so I'm gonna end this. Thank you for hanging out, Joshua and whomever else is left. It looks like there's a couple other people in here. I'm gonna end it. We'll go upstairs, take care of the little kitty, and then I'll be back. I'm really enjoying working on this ship, so I'll be back again to continue working on this ship. I plan to be back within an hour or so. I'll start a new stream and increment it, the part number. That's my plan. But as we are getting towards kind of middle to late afternoon, like right now the place is empty, but at some point between now and probably midnight, I don't really know when, I expect people to start arriving back here, and so it could I won't be able to stream at that point. Regardless of, so there's a chance I may not be able to get back on live and continue work on my ship, but after midnight, which is in about 8 hours from now, I will definitely be on with Pan Pan playing Phasmo, or possibly working on my ship. So that was probably really confusing. So the plan is I'll be back in about an hour to work on this. If that falls through, regardless of whether that falls through or not, I'll be back in about 8 hours after midnight my time, doing something, either this or Phasmophobia. I hope that was a little better. So yeah, so I'm gonna end this for now. Joshua and oh, Disco Pistons, I just saw you pop up. I didn't see your name there a second ago. You're the one who said you wish you could cook food in the kitchen. That makes a lot more sense now. I thought, okay, Disco, I didn't realize it was you that said that. Okay. Disco, thank you for hanging out. Whomever else is in here, thanks. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye. All right.
I drift in place.